What you see before you are two different things. One is an iceberg and the other is breads and threads, the finest handcrafted goods. While they may appear to be different, they each have one thing in common: there's more here than meets the eye.
Breads and Threads is a little store south of Flint, Michigan, and it strives to build on the new spirit in America of buying local and supporting our neighbor.
Breads and Threads owner Lynette grew up in Pontiac, Michigan with strong family ties in Puerto Rico. She is self-admittedly addicted to knitting. Not so very long ago, Lynette set up a table at the Grand Blanc Farmers Market, and before long she was selling not only her own work but also the work of a number of her friends.
The community was so supportive of Lynette that she felt she could afford to rent a brick-and-mortar establishment, and with the support of her fellow crafters, she committed and moved forward, and today, after several months in this location, finds she has a problem.
She is keeping pace with a lot of great local product being made available, and even providing an outlet for single women on Flint's north side to sell their wares and earn an income. It's a win-win proposition all the way around, except for one thing: the street in front of Breads and Threads is for going someplace else, not arriving somewhere.
Lynette thinks she has a solution: raise $7,000 with Kickstarter and go to a sweet location in downtown Grand Blanc, Michigan, and plunk down the cash and buy a sweet deal of a contract that will allow her to move her brick-and-mortar store to a location directly across the street from the weekly Grand Blanc Farmers Market. It's a situation made in heaven.
I'm a knitter here at Breads and Threads, and we were just going around. I was trying to point out some of the things that I make. Some baby blankets here. And those are nice and warm and cuddly. And this little outfit here, Lynette actually inspired me to knit that. She wanted some baby boy clothes for the shop. So there's one. And a little sweater here. That's actually my own design. I didn't copy anybody's design on that. That's out of my head.
And you've been working with Lynette in doing this sort of thing for how long? 1
year. I've been a knitter ever since I was a child. Knitting is a lot cheaper than therapy. So that's what I always tell people. Once my kids are in bed, I can get out my knitting and be productive, but yet relax at the same time. So Breads and Threads has helped me have an outlet to be able to showcase some of my work, and also the collaborative effect with Lynette and some of the other vendors is also very inspiring, and it keeps us productive, keeps us trying to learn new things and make more sales.
Do you have any hopes beyond the immediate for what you're doing here, or is it just the process is enough for you?
No, I wouldn't say the process is quite enough. I would be completely honest and realistic. Supplies are expensive, time is expensive. My main issue right now is balancing the family budget between just my husband having the full-time job and my kids' needs, my kids that are in preschool and third grade. So there's always stuff. So there's things that I would hope in another year or two, there's a steady stream of income flowing from my crafts, not just enough to pay back my supply costs, but also on top of that help my family pay for some of the things we need for our kids.
So who are you? Would you tell me your name, please?
Lynette.
And where are we?
We are at Breads and Threads, an all handmade shop in Grand Blanc. I crochet continuously, literally, almost all day long from the minute I get up to the time I go to bed, 7 days a week. If I'm in the car, we're driving, and it's going to take more than 30 minutes, I'm crocheting. If I'm at the doctor's office, it takes more than 10 minutes, I'm crocheting. No matter where I am, if it's going to take more than 10 minutes, I whip something out of my bag and a needle, and I'm making something. So it's an addiction. I just joined on Facebook, Hookers Anonymous. I have to admit it. I'm addicted. But in the same sense, I give myself therapy by crocheting. Again.
And now you have so much stuff you've crocheted, you had to have a place to put it so you could
Yes. And
sell
that's
it?
when we moved into the farmer's market, the Grand Blanc farmer's market about 3 years ago. I started crocheting just little things, doilies and hot pads, things like that. That evolved into, can you make me a bedspread? Can you make me a tablecloth? Can you make me a christening gown? To the point where I've been commissioned now twice to make 2 wedding gowns. So it evolved a lot more than I thought it was going to evolve out of the farmer's market. But now we're in a brick and mortar spot where we have a lot of vendors with a lot of different skills, a lot of different talents, a lot of things that I now want to learn how to make on top of the crochet, like I don't have enough time already.
And are you doing something for the vendors by providing a place for them to put their...
Yes. A lot of the moms have opted to be stay-at-home moms for many different reasons. But they can't afford to have a brick and mortar on their own. They can't afford to open their own store. It's too much of a sacrifice. It's too much of a risk. If we pull together, we can all have a store, and we can all sell our things and not have mountains and mountains of merchandise in our homes, except instead have it in a brick and mortar location where people can come in and see all the different types of talent that there is in the community.
And you're also helping provide them an income in that way.
And it provides an income for them, yes.
And the space that you're in now?
Is way too small. We went from the farmer's market to a little cottage in Canterbury Village in Lake Orion, grew out of that cottage into this, and now we no longer fit in here. We have a waiting list of vendors who make amazing things, from soap to woodwork to crochet to knitting to tatting, skills I haven't seen since I was a child, and maybe people haven't seen even before that. But there's no room for them.
You said you have a waiting list.
Yes.
You have other people that you don't have room for their stuff in this space.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
And so, basically, we're bursting at the seams. We don't fit. We're crawling up the walls because we don't fit.
And so the people at Kickstarter who are watching this video need to know what to help you out.
We need to raise a certain amount of funds to be able to move into downtown Grand Blanc. Downtown Grand Blanc is not, we don't want to move there because it's the place to be. We want to move there because, one, it's very close. The location we're looking at is literally kitty corner from our farmer's market, which is where a lot of our vendors began. A lot of our customers visit the farmer's market every Sunday. They're faithful customers. If we're kitty corner from them, they leave the farmer's market, they come see their vendors. Because we're kind of like a little family. They go out on Sunday, they visit their vendors, they get to know you, they know all about you and your family, we know all about them, we know their likes, their dislikes, and they know ours. So that location is prime for that reason. Two, it'll bring a lot more traffic to the store for people who don't know what we're all about, for people who don't know that people still make things at home.
And how much money do you hope to raise in this project?
We're hoping to raise $7,000.
And what can people expect for the contribution they give to this?
It depends on their contribution. So if you, for example, contribute $10 to the cause, you'll receive 2 hand-crocheted coasters. There's crochet lessons involved, honorary mention, tablecloths, bedspreads. There's different things that you can, I guess, earn.
And there will be more added, too, as time goes by, as
Yes.
this process moves forward. I noticed, I was looking at the Kickstarter website, and it says you got to keep the promise that you made to the first things, but you can add more
We
things
can add
as
more
you,
things, yeah.
and who knows
So
what
as the
may
vendors
occur.
create more,
Yeah.
we can add more.
Yeah. And you will also be benefiting not only people's pocketbooks, but because you work with the St. Luke's people in Flint who are serving a lot of women who, well, we're going to take a look at them now. Could you tell me a little bit about where the effort that you're in right now began?
Sure, it began taking food and clothing out onto the street, and we learned the plight of women in Flint.
Yes.
And one day, in the middle of winter, someone approached and asked if we had any newborn baby clothes. And she was searching for clothes for a woman who had given birth alone the night before in the abandoned home next to her. So she was out begging for the clothes and the car seat that she needed. So that was really, that was a conception of the New Life Center, because we knew we needed to do something more for the women of Flint. And we began the whole New Life Center with the mission of helping at-risk women become self-sustainable. And in Flint there are so few jobs, we had to decide what we were going to do if we're going to keep that mission, and we felt comfortable keeping it. So we teach the women how to sew in a 3-year program of life change, which is a lost art in many places. And it really caught on, and it gives them great self-esteem to know that they can do this and people will buy it. And so being in a store like this is exposure for the center, but it's a huge boost of self-esteem for the women. And Jeanette's going to bring them to the stores to see where their things are, because they never dreamed that something like this could happen.
And these are things that they made from the scraps of material, where from the leftover from the scrubs that they make, that we put into the hospitals, and that physicians buy our scrubs and medical gowns, and also laboratory coats for the physicians. So these are the extra merchandise that we can put in the stores so that St. Louis can make money.
And we've been able to hire them full time. And that's just, they never ever dreamed that they could ever have a job.
And these are women coming out of the shelter for battered women, and women coming out of rehab. So to give them this opportunity of having a job and helping them build their self-esteem and preparing them for life, that's helping them to better, being able to face life. That way, maybe before they didn't have that self-respect, now they have a job, now they're making money, they're saying, oh my goodness, I didn't know that I had this creativity inside of me. Well, now that's going to build their self-esteem, and now they're going to demand respect. They're not going to let maybe another man disrespect them or someone else in their life disrespect them.
So the importance of Lynette being able to move, and the Kickstarter people watching you, they should do this for so many reasons. And one of those many reasons are the things you've been talking about.
Well, keep in mind that this is a non-profit organization. For us to have our merchandise in this store is a big plus. This is our community supporting St. Luke's for the wonderful things that we do. We also have a literacy program where we help students get their GED. So that's educating people. We're teaching people how to fish. We're not giving them the fish. Well, by the way, we're doing that too, because we do have a food pantry where we feed thousands of people per month. Every week we feed the homeless, we feed the people that are very needy. They come in, and I see women and children coming in to pick up their food. And if it wasn't for St. Luke's, they wouldn't probably have food or little turkey for Christmas. Right now, we're distributing Christmas gifts. These children wouldn't have Christmas gifts to open on Christmas Day. This whole week, we're distributing, these Christmas gifts and the food for Christmas.
And many of the parents, as they come in with them, have said these are the only gifts these children will get for Christmas.
Exactly.
So it's critical for us to give as much as we can to make a Christmas a happy one, like we all deserve.
So if Kickstarter will give Breads and Threads the opportunity of expanding to a bigger site, which is Uptown Grand Blanc Road, which is a better situation, a better location, better parking, guess what? We'll get more people to notice Breads and Threads, and then we'll have more people from the community coming in to support the wonderful cause, not only of St. Luke's, but of all the other vendors in the store that are working hard. That's, for some people, they think is a lost craft. Well, we'll have the community come in and supporting all of the vendors of this store. And guess what? Keep the money in our community. Because all the things that is made by St. Louis is made in Michigan. Support the people in your backyard. That's what we want.
Absolutely.
Won't you help her? She believes that $7,000 will secure the rent on the location for a few months in a small downtown area and afford her the opportunity for her and her compatriots to churn out the local goods that she is certain the public will buy. Look for her offerings on her Kickstarter page, Handmade on the Rise, and help kickstart another American success story, and at the same time give a boost to the campaign to buy local.